we put the origin story to bed the right way this time. So Frank doesn't have to keep being the grieving man chasing people who killed his family. That chapter's closed. Now he gets to be the fucking Punisher on a mission in the world, and where that takes place, I don't know, but July, you see the first step of that. Punisher One Last Kill was the #1 thing on Disney Plus, and that team made it with almost no budget and almost no time. I mean, I'm telling you, it was tough, and you know what? It still beat everything, which is, I just love that. So this July, nope, it's not July, August. Is it August? End of July, Frank Castle's going to stand next to Spider-Man in the theaters, and I can't freaking wait. So the question I keep getting asked is, what happens to the Punisher now? And I was in the room for this character, so let me tell you where Frank goes next, where I think he goes next, and what Jon actually wants to build for Frank. And the two scenes in the One Last Kill that, in my opinion, kind of prove he's ready for it. First of all, if you want the origin of how Jon and I built this version of Frank starting back in 2023 and how my own story bled into it, that is the first video. Link is right here. Go watch it. This one is kind of my opinion of what comes next. So here's what I'm confident about a bigger future for Mr. Castle and this character. The hardest part is already proven. It's not the gunfights. It is the truth. Anybody can choreograph a shootout, you know, some not so well, some very well. But what almost nobody gets right is the interior of a man who chooses the mission over his family and now has to live with the cost of that. Jon did not fake it, and it shows up really hard in 2 scenes. So, you know, pause it right there. This is the moment most movies fake or overlook, and one that we just refuse to. So let me explain this scene right here. Is his wife, it's flashbacks of his wife saying, "You're not here." And if you remember this from season 1 of The Punisher, you know, it's talking about him always being gone, and every time he leaves, he comes back with less, and he's always choosing them over the family. And then he's kind of like on the fence, and he's like wanting to leave the job and be with them, even though he keeps choosing to leave. And that's a real thing. That's a real thing when it comes to guys in special operations. You know, we can sit here all day and talk about how we do it for love of, you know, God and country and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if they're honest, they like doing the job. Listen, I like doing the job. I liked riding motorcycles out of the back of helicopters with my friends. I liked diving. I liked jumping out of planes. It was all hard work. I liked the job. It was hard, but it was fucking fun. Don't get me wrong. And I did the job because I liked doing the job. All right. And that's something that took me a long time to admit, that it was done out of selfish reasons. Now, the next scene with Karen, that was Jon's internal dialogue, or Frank Castle's internal mind, because obviously she wasn't really there, holding him accountable for his own decisions that he needed to accept. And that was the fact that he chose being an operator and chose going to those schools and chose going to those deployments and chose going to those missions over being home with his family. And the reason why he was having that vision, if you will, was that it was him coming to grips with that reality, and that he had to like kind of eat that, right? And that's an important part of moving forward. But I think that's the foundation of him moving forward into becoming the Punisher that everybody wants to see, right? And yes, of course, the tactics held up to, you know, like we wanted the mag discipline, we wanted the failure drills, we wanted shot placement. I broke all that down in part 1. But the reason this character can carry a real movie is not the shooting, it's what we got right with the man first, if that makes sense. So what does he want? This is his own words. Like he wants a full movie, and you know, and I'm really excited about what we did with One Last Kill. But I feel like, again, like what I said in movie 1 or the video 1, is that we put the origin story to bed the right way this time. So Frank doesn't have to keep being the grieving man chasing people who killed his family. That chapter's closed. Now he gets to be the fucking Punisher on a mission in the world, and where that takes place, I don't know. But July, you see the first step of that. So in July, being August, when Spider-Man comes up, you're going to see Frank Castle show up next to Spider-Man in theaters that is on the ramp into a bigger universe, right? But that's definitely not the finish line for what Jon wants. He actually wants to do his own movie that he's in control of. A full theatrical Punisher movie, not a special, not a side appearance, the full deal. Big screen, long form Punisher film with a forward story of the Punisher doing fucking Punisher things. Finally turned all the way up. No PG-13, no, I'm not getting in trouble. No Mickey Mouse bullshit. Disney. But that's the deal. And, you know, I know he's got a lot of ideas on what that's going to be. I have no idea if I'm going to be involved, but I'm here for it. As a fan, as a former recon Marine and a Marine Raider, I love Frank Castle. I love the Punisher. My son does as well. We're in for it. So here's the deal, man. Here's right where you need to be. All right. If you want the real Punisher movie, and the kind that you guys have been talking about online, all right, go watch One Last Kill, all right, and on Disney Plus, and watch it again, and then make noise about it, share it, talk about it to the people that you talk to. This is the whole game. If this movie, if One Last Kill does what it's doing, you're gonna get the Punisher that you wanted, all right, and that's what we need to be, all right? So Jon's in the driver's seat, all right? He's going to have real operators in the room. He's going to have real dudes backing him this time. And that's the only way he's doing it from here on moving forward. He's going to do it right. And, you know, Marvel's only green lights what audience demands, all right? So go show them that this is exactly what you want, and then subscribe and stick around. Let's see if I get involved again, because if we get this movie made, I want you here for it. All right. Love you. Peace. Go watch Punisher One Last Kill. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. Remember to like it. Remember to drop me a comment. I want to respond to it. I'm actually the one responding to the comments. And if you like this video, you're going to absolutely love this one right here.